Welcome to this new tutorial for the Gear VR. It actually also works with Oculus Rift, but the aim is to create a interactive menu for virtual reality for Oculus. So the first step is we need to go to the Oculus Developer Center. Let me check it out. Yeah. And we need to go to downloads. Well, I'm gonna put it downloads. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there is a download page, and you go to Unity. Okay, we're gonna need the Oculus utilities for Unity 5 and the Oculus sample framework for Unity 5. I have actually downloaded them. So when you download them, you're gonna get a zip file. When you unzip it, you need to find the Oculus Utilities Unity package and the Oculus Sample Framework package. So let's start with Unity. I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to disable Unity Analytics. We don't need it right now. I'm going to call it Oculus Interactive UI. So here we go. Okay, so the first thing, if you're using Gear VR, be sure to come to build settings, like file, build settings, and you need to change to Android. But if you're aiming to Oculus Rift, there's no need to do this. It's alright, just keep on the PC. I'm gonna change to Android because I only have the Gear VR, so here it goes. Alright, so I'm gonna import those packages. I'll first import you need to go to Assets, Import Package, Custom Package. And I'm gonna first import the Oculus Utilities package. Alright, OVR, plugin. You can import everything. No. Alright, and now we need the samples framework project. We just need to do the same thing again, but instead of the utilities, we need the sample framework. And this is a really big package. It has a lot of stuff, but for this tutorial, we'll only need we don't need the license, we don't need the OVR, we already have it. We don't need the avatar, neither the harness. We only need the inspector. You don't need like all this stuff. They are useful for like other things. As we are building a simple UI, we don't need like the sample scene, standard assets, streaming asset, the results, the plugins, the parse. All we need to be able to interact with the UI using the gaze of the player is the OVR inspector. So let's import it. Okay, everything's fine now. I'm gonna create a plane that will be the ground we're gonna use to put our player above it. So, oops, sorry, it's a 3D. Alright, I'm gonna add a color to him. I'm gonna create another folder called materials. and in this folder I'm gonna create a simple material I'm gonna call ground material, and it's just a simple material like something a little bit brown, a little bit red. I think that this is good enough. Just put the color you want, and here it goes. We don't need the main camera, and here in OVR you go to prefabs, and we need a OVR camera rig. So here it goes. I'm gonna put it a little bit above, and there he is, our OVR camera rig. So if you press play, you see that he's working fine. Alright. So I'm gonna create a menu with 2 buttons. So I'll come here, I'm gonna create an empty object called menu. I'm gonna put it in the horizon, and here it goes. I'm gonna put it a little bit ahead of the camera. There it goes. So I'm gonna need a canvas for this menu, so I'm going to UI, canvas, but it has to be a world space canvas. Screen space canvas, they don't work in VR. We need to put them in the world. So I'm gonna put it in the horizon of our menu object, and as you can see, it's huge right now. I'm gonna put it like 20 by 20. Nah, it's still too big. Wow. Okay, I don't know, 5. Yep, 5 by 5 is alright. I'm gonna just, I think he's too close to the user. I'm gonna put it a little bit here. You can check like with your camera in the first row, you can see how the menu is gonna be. I think he's like, yeah, I don't want it like that. Okay, this position seems good. And I need to center my player too. Alright, now it's okay. So, wow, it's too close. I'm gonna put the menu a little bit for here. Oh, actually I'm doing something wrong. The canvas, it should be on 0. Yeah, the canvas has 0, 0, 0, 5 width, 5 height, and the menu is actually a little bit like, let's put it 4, and here's, I don't know, 3.5 maybe, 3.5 is cool. Alright, yeah, here it goes. So I'm gonna add like, in order to work with the menu, I'm going to create an object called menu button, and I want it like to be proportional to the menu. So I'm gonna click here and this guy, so he will expand to the whole size of the menu. It's alright. And now we need to start working with the interaction. I want the player to be able to look at the UI element, and when he looks to the UI element, I want the element to give a feedback to the user that he's ready to receive input, just like that highlight effect we have on the Oculus menu in the Gear VR. So I'm gonna start by adding the OVR camera rig. He needs a OVR physics raycaster, and we also need to add in our event system. We don't need the standalone input module. You can remove it. All we need is the OVR input module. And as you can see, the OVR input module has this ray transform. Uh, it is like the center eye anchor we need to grab and put here. And we also gonna need in the OVR inspector, we have the resources, prefabs. We're gonna need the gaze pointer. Just click it and drop it here. That's alright. And as you can see in the gaze pointer, we also need to add a ray transform to it, which is exactly the center eye anchor again. So there it is. I'm gonna press play, just ignore these warnings. I'm gonna press play and check the console to see if everything's fine. Yeah, it seems to be fine. You can, if you want to look around, you just need to grab the tracking space and you can change its rotation. That's fine. The gaze pointer is hide by default, but I want to see it, so let me see if it appears now. Okay, that's weird. He should have appeared here, but it doesn't matter. Okay, and in this canvas, we need to remove this graphic raycaster and add a OVR raycaster. And in this OVR raycaster, we need to set, actually in the canvas, we need to set the event camera to our center eye anchor 2. It's really, really important. So there it goes. All right. Now, I'm gonna add in our menu button, I'm gonna add a image, which will be its background image. I'm gonna call it background image. Okay. And I want it to comprise the whole size of the menu, so I'm gonna change again to this guy over here. Oh, there's something wrong here. Whoa. Okay, that's weird. Oh yeah, it's because of the size of the menu. When we have like he has these negative offsets who makes him go beyond the space of the canvas, so we need to put 0 in all of these guys, so his size will be constrained to the canvas. Okay, and now that we have our background image, I want to add a little bit of a offset to it, so I'm gonna put a, actually it's not on the background, it's on the menu button. I want to put a little offset on it. Alright, okay, and in order for this guy to, actually the behavior we want is when the user looks at this guy, we want him to change its color to highlight. So his color will actually be something like, I don't know, this, maybe this. I'm gonna put some alpha on it. Alright, something like this. And I want it to highlight a little bit, just like that, something like this. So his normal color is like this. I'm gonna create a script. So you go to assets. I'm gonna create a folder called scripts. And I'm gonna create a new script called VR button. And you're gonna add the VR button to the menu button. And we're gonna edit him. So the first thing we'll have to do is to include the UI namespace so we can use the elements of our user interface inside our script. So you can come here, Unity Engine UI. So now we can use the image object, which is the background image, and we need a color. which is the normal color, and we need another color, which is the highlight color. And we will have two methods. We'll have the public onGazeEnter. This is when our user looks at our button, we want the background to highlight. So background image.color is set to the highlight color. And we need the onGazeExit, which is our background image color as our normal color, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the background image to the image, and his normal color is this one. You can actually choose any color you want, it's up to you. And there it is. And for his highlight color, I want something more white, more like, oops, not like this, something like this maybe. Uh-oh. Yeah, I think that's alright. Cool. Little highlight color. So, okay. Right now, I think we'll be able to interact with him. Let me check it out. If the gaze pointer will appear. Yeah, it is appearing. As you can see, it means like we now are able to interact with this element. If we go to the gaze pointer and we put it to hide by default, it won't appear. But as soon as we look, oops, wasn't this guy tracking space? Yeah, as soon as we get a tracking space and we look around and we click, if you click, you'll be able to interact with him. And what we want to do now is to implement the logic. So we already have a script with the behavior we want, which is the VR button, but we need a script to understand that the user is looking at him right now. So we need the OVR gaze event trigger. So every time, it is like two Unity events. Every time the user actually he puts this background here, we don't need this background. He puts a solid white background by default, just remove it. So as I was saying, every time the user looks at your element, the functions you add to on enter will be called, and when he looks away, the functions on exit will be called. So what we want is when he looks at your element, we want it to highlight, which is in our VR button script, on the onGazeEnter, which does the highlight, and in the onGazeExit, we call the onGazeExit, so he will undo the highlight, we return to the normal color. So as you can see here, if I look at him, he's now a little bit highlighted, but when I look to the floor, he's not highlighted anymore. Actually, I had to click. I don't know why you have to click on the editor, but if you use like a Gear VR, you'll be able to just look at him. Yeah. The editor, I don't know why the editor behaves like this, but if you're doing this on a Gear VR or on a, I don't know, Oculus Rift, you won't have to click. So yeah, that's it. Like, we already have the highlight thing, and Now we need to be able to interact with the button when you like in the gear you have in the um, where is it? OVR background. You have on the input module the joypad click button and the gaze click key. It means like if you're using the Gear VR, you can touch on the touchpad and he'll trigger the on pointer click event. Or if you're using like the desktop, I don't know, the Oculus Rift, you can just click space and he'll trigger the on click event. So what we're going to do here is to add another method, which is here public void on click. What we're gonna do is we just simple log something, click received, there it is. And what we're gonna do with this guy over here, we're gonna add also a event trigger, and in the pointer click he'll receive the, oops, not this guy, sorry, the VR button script. He will receive the on click. So we can check like the log. There will be click logs in here if everything works fine, I guess. Yeah, he's not working. Damn it. Let me see this guy. Oops. The track, I always forgot, is the tracking space. Alright, not working right now. Oh, sorry. Actually, you need the space bar. Yeah, I was clicking, but it's not clicking because here in the event system, we put like our gaze click key is the space. In the joypad, like if you're using Gear VR and you run this in your mobile phone, you can do this using the touchpad. So there it is, guys. It is like a simple button where you can it understands when you look at it. And if you guys remember, in the gaze pointer ring, I put like hide by default. So if all this element, because our canvas has the OVR raycaster, it says to our gaze pointer ring that this whole object can interact with the gaze of with the user. So it shows the pointer ring. But if you look to other side, like I'm gonna do here, and well, he should disappear. I don't know why he's not disappearing. Oh, it's because he's not hiding. I'm sorry. If you mark hide by default, he will disappear. He will only appear if you look at something you can interact with. As soon as you look to something you can't interact, see, he's gone. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Hope it helped you create good user interface for the Oculus platform. Feel free to comment anything, to give any tip, and if there's something you want to learn, just put it on the comments, please. See you guys later.